All right. Well, welcome to another 545. This time I have got marketing guru Darren Doane, and we're going to talk about manufacturing, marketing, branding, and how the game is changing. So thanks a lot for coming on, Darren. First question: who is Darren Doane?
I think I'm just a punk rock music video suburban director, wannabe filmmaker who was the only kid doing it. Right place, right time. Those bands went from underground to being the mainstream, and through all that, I somehow just kept finding, if not all the sort of older punk rock dudes, people who were truly kind of punk rock in spirit, kind of the old school, probably kind of 60s and 70s and 80s liberals that still were kind of like, let's break all the rules. Back when liberals were kind of like wild hippie liberals that wanted to break rules and all that stuff, and somehow made a career by finding really just punk rock people, even at the highest level, or even mainstream artists like the Zach Browns and the Kid Rocks and the Shine Downs, and that really were still really punk rock at heart, but had found mainstream success, and I was able to find success with them. So kind of finding your people everywhere.
How did you make that transition from doing music videos and shooting some of the biggest names in rock and roll to branding and marketing for manufacturers like Sierra?
Yeah. Well, I mean, even to make that connection as sort of just a linear quick story, it was working with Zach Brown, heading up his entertainment division, doing the music videos, some concert stuff, some live stuff. And then he wanted to do a hunting show. So we're doing a hunting show. And next thing you know, we're stranded in like North Dakota winter, and there's like a 4-room motel somewhere. And someone comes over and says, hey, there's a guy down here that wants to make a hunting show too. So we go a few rooms down, have some like Jack and Cokes, and we're drinking and just, trying to stay warm. And he says, I want to do a hunting show that's hunting and recycling. And I meet this guy, and we developed this show. And next thing you know, part of that show is meeting where he buys equipment. I meet John Sacco. John Sacco sees what I'm doing. And a month later, I get a call, and he says, I see what you do. I love it. Would you ever want to do this for machines? You probably don't. And I was like, these machines look like Transformers to me. I'm in. But John was super punk rock. Again, came from that mentality of let's just get things done. And it turned out people in the recycling industry are probably some of the most hardcore punk rock humans I've ever met, because they live in a world, people in manufacturing live in the real world. And so I had found, and I still found today, people in marketing, people in manufacturing, people who find those two worlds, they live in the real world, because with manufacturing, you don't just pause to take a meeting. You don't shut things down for a week to just figure things out. You have to keep moving. I love things that are real world connected. Marketing and advertising usually is not connected to the real world, but when you bring it into manufacturing, and if you can get that mindset over into the world of marketing, advertising, brand build that they do, it was gold mine. And so for me and John, it's just been an absolute gold mine.
Man, I'm getting fired up just listening to
Does
you
that
talk
does
about
that
that.
make
Like that's
sense? Does that make sense?
100%. And I
Okay,
mean, you
cool.
don't get more real world than getting your hands on something, making
Yeah,
something, building something tangible. I mean, I'm all about it, all about it. One
love
thing
it.
that I was really attracted to you about was you post a lot about how the marketing game is changing. Maybe the social media age is dead. Sales is all wrong. Like,
Yeah,
obviously things are changing. Tell me about that. Why is everything changing? Why is what people have been doing for the last 10 years maybe
yeah.
coming to an end? What do you mean?
I mean, I'd say I'm probably 60, 70% sure of where I'm at. We all think we're right. That's why we say things, because we think we're right. But I know I'm not always right, even though, as my pastor says, I think I'm always right, but I know I'm not always right. So this is a tough one, because I'm trying to assess where we are at right now, and it's affecting everything that I'm doing. But I believe what has happened is we just came through the last 5 years was a golden age. Some people understood it. There was no gatekeepers. You could do whatever you want with an iPhone, whether you knew someone that could create content, do titles, make stuff, or you could do it with your own iPhone. The first video John posted was him in his yard with his iPhone, and he sold a machine 5 days later off a single Instagram post, right? So that was 5 years ago. It was a golden age. These last 5 years have been crazy. If you could communicate, you could win. What happened, though, is we didn't have enough content creators. You think welders are hard to find? Try to find a content creator that can shoot, edit, and understand business and isn't precious. There was never enough. There was never going to be enough. And so what's happened is now we've created this middle-class ghetto of marketing. The sort of lower class is the punk rock world, and those are people that can make $1 million to $10 million every year for the next 10 years, for as long as they want to go, because they know how to communicate, they know how to, create content, live in the comments, do stuff, grow stuff, sell stuff, whether it's a service, a shoe, a drink, whatever. The middle class, I'll get to that. The upper class realizes we couldn't find the talent, we couldn't build a department, we're going to hire an agency like it's 1980 or 1990, and we're going to spend $5 million to $50 million to get whatever we need to get done. So the fighting up there is going to be with the agencies, who's got the talent, because there's not enough. But the big companies kept their powder dry, didn't go all in. And now the agencies that said TikTok was dumb and social media was dumb, now they're charging them $10 million to live on those platforms. The middle class is the ghetto. They didn't do much. They're not going to do much. Their money is spread across all their departments. They're never really going to do much. They can't find talent. They can't retain talent. So they're either going to have a slow death when it comes to their business and marketing and brand, or just a slow living. And they're going to do okay, and that's fine. But the gold is going to be in the underground or the high end. That's the way I'm seeing things right now.
So if I'm a manufacturer, right, living in this new age, like, what am I to do aside from calling Darren Doane up to be your marketing person? But what am I to do kind of as this is all shifting?
Well, let's play this game out in real time. How much does that company make a year gross? Give me an example.
Maybe they make $10 million a year.
Okay, they've got to figure out how to spend $1 million a year
in marketing and advertising.
Yes, yeah,
wow,
100%.
Wow.
Then, just to be in the game.
Just to get in the game, just to get out there.
That's not even talking strategy. I'm talking just what you need. It's sort of like saying, I want to be a fulfillment center, right? Let's say I want to be a fulfillment center, right?
Yep.
Before we even get into the strategy, right, of the products, I got to have a warehouse.
Yeah.
I got to have a warehouse. That's going to cost money. What's a 100,000 square foot warehouse going to cost, right? I mean, the people. So before you even get to your strategy, you're at $1 million. Same with communication. So it doesn't matter what your strategy ends up being. The conversation, the reason why I have bowed out in the meantime, because no one wants to have this conversation.
Interesting. Well, we
so you don't want to have the conversation.
For a longer one too. I mean, this is.
Yeah, no, people don't want to have this conversation. Yeah. It's like being fat. I mean, it's the old Gary V. Like, if you're fat, there's only 2 ways to lose weight: less calories, work out. Yep. That's it. Yep. Right. And so the only way to build what is the future or what is the now of marketing, brand building, communication. Look, it's $1 million to start. Because look, even if you found 3 semi-talented people that were content creators, great shooter, great editor, maybe great sort of person that knew how to take content, push it, put a campaign. But look, even if you could find, and you're talking about manufacturing, those 3 people, you're at $100,000 a pop, starting for okay people. That's assuming they want to work for your boring manufacturing company.
Well, you got to show some flash there. Why it's cool, why it's awesome, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, so but that's a whole other. But now that's a talent issue, retention issue on the business. So you're at a real company. You're at $300,000-$400,000 in people. And now you got to do what taxes, the HR, the legal, all the stuff. So everyone tells you in real businesses that $100,000 really cost me about $200,000 a year. So now we're at $600,000, and we haven't even put a budget together to go and make a podcast.
Man. Crazy.
So this is like this now. The kid who wants to do drop shipping and's got a little t-shirt company or customized thing he's doing. He's spending $2,000 a month and he's crushing it because he's doing all those things.
Right. And he's got
Does
passion behind it. It's his thing,
He's
right? I
got
mean, like,
passion, but he doesn't need approval. He's trying
right.
things. He's testing the market every single hour. He's doing
Yeah.
all those things.
Yeah.
Look, you're at $1 million minimum runway, and you might get something done 6 to 8 months after day one,
Hmm. Well,
which
that's
means
the
you might get
that's
your
the grinder, right? It's do you go through kind of all that corporate stuff, or do you just,
right.
have the most passionate people who are closest to the thing getting out there and getting the content out? I mean, like that's a
Yeah, right.
balance.
But that is like, but those are unicorns.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So
Well,
now the new unicorn is right here. This is the new unicorn. I'm a unicorn, but I can't scale
hmm,
because I'm the unicorn.
hmm,
Right. If someone called me today and said, we need a podcast, we need a series going, we want to, I could start tomorrow. I could have the first episode up in 2 days, set, built, design, whatever we're doing. Because but I'm a unicorn. I can't scale what I do.
yeah. 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 Well, they
So
talk about that in special forces, right? Like, okay, you want 100,000 Navy SEALs. Like, well, you can't do it. The process to train those guys and have the right
right.
guys and the right mindset, right, is not an infinitely scalable thing. Like, it's a small batch production, right? Well, let me ask you this then.
Yeah.
Last question, like, as we're talking about all that, we're talking about content, we're talking about big guys versus little guys, and how's AI change this stuff? I mean, if you want content, there's apps out there coming out where you can type it in and it'll create anything faster than anybody else. Like, how do you compete in that world as AI, image generation, video generation are becoming a lot more mainstream?
I mean, AI continues to make me even more of a unicorn. So for me, um, it makes me even more powerful, just to use the sort of AI power metaphor here. AI doesn't help anyone that's lazy, and majority of people are lazy.
Hmm.
I mean, look, all you needed to do for the last 5 years was pick up your phone and talk to it,
Yeah.
and you could have grown your business 2, 3, 4 times. Hi, this is Steve, and I make these what like and upload. Like that's the easiest thing in the world. AI doesn't do that for you.
Hmm.
AI comes alongside people who create, who know what they want to do, have systems in place, know their process. So for me trying to bang out an article, now I can sit in my hot tub like I just did. I did my morning article. I just spoke everything I wanted, just diarrhea of the mouth, the things I'm thinking about, blah, 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 blah. And then I just put that into chat and I say, put this in a Hunter S. Thompson, Gonzo style Rolling Stone. Meets a little bit of Tom Wolfe, so I don't sound that crazy. And that's my morning article, right? But so that's 3 minutes of me just rambling. I'm not going to sit and type that up. Chat will do that. It already knows my voice. I've got that feed. AI comes alongside those who want to work. So if the easiest job in the world, which was holding a phone and talking to it, 99% of people didn't do. When I tell you people aren't even, I was just with literally a $10 billion company, had breakfast with them. I was showing them how to use chat.
Yeah. Really
Showing them.
showing them how to use it.
Yeah. And these were all the top leaders at the company.
Huh.
And they're going, this is awesome. I was like, you're a $10 billion company and you don't have somebody for $1 million. Hire someone for $1 million a year.
Yeah.
Just to be the person that's doing this for you.
Yeah.
Hey, just for the knowledge. Someone should be bringing you an AI update every single day for the next year, and then figure out in 2026 the best way to apply AI for your business. So that tells me that, look, I'm sure Dell's in this space. I'm sure Oracle's in this space. I'm sure there's some high level. I watch Bloomberg every morning. I see commercials. I'm assuming these big companies saying that they know how to run AI for big companies have awesome things, but they're not even getting to people and having them think about how to reinterpret their entire systems or their reports. And look, and even if you get the reports, who's going to do what with the reports and with the data? All this is still creative. All AI is still creative. The use of it, the application of it, the extraction of it. There's not a lot of creative people out there. It's just that's the bottom line.
And the creatives are going to utilize it, leverage it to be even more creative, have more impact.
Yes,
I mean,
that's it. It
awesome.
won't really help, I mean, it will take away. And an interesting side note, like we had something for our kids' school auction, and we were putting this steak night event together. And usually we would have taken a picture of a steak, and my wife's like, well, wait, I'll use one of these things that you're always playing with. And she designed this like beautiful steak event looking, kind of comical, kind of something, kind of very AI, like, but huge tomahawk steaks and drinks, to promote this auction event, right? This auction
Yeah.
item. Now that was a mom at 1 a.m. creating a piece of art for something.
Mm-hmm.
The trickle down of that, I believe, is going to happen everywhere. It's way too much to get into, but she just took away what could have been maybe a quick $500 job for a designer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe an up and coming designer who would have taken it for $100 or $50 or just experience.
Yep.
That it's hard to get into now, but that waterfall that has existed is being disrupted. That is something I'm keeping my eye on and trying to really get a hold of right now, because that is what's wild. The bottom churn historically of people to develop skills, that is somehow being disrupted. And that's what I'm watching in regards to AI, really more than anything, as far as what I can wrap my head around.
Wow. Well, it's definitely all changing quick. And I mean, I like that analogy. I mean, but at the end of the day, you had the creative, right?
Yeah.
Coming up with a concept and developing it by herself on a phone almost instantly. So that's,
well, and think about this, right? So you've got AI power and you can load in, let's say, 50 pages of data from your yards or your facilities. Okay.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, what now? Well, the experiment we played when I was talking to some friends of mine, I was like, okay, so now let's say you're going to send your company email out. Now we're going to get creative. Please take this data. It was right before the Super Bowl. And let's take the top 10 yards, the top 10 facilities. Let's rank them. Let's rank them in relationship to teams in the NFL. So 1 through 10. Let's align those with the top 1 through 10 teams. And let's make this email fun. We're getting close to the Super Bowl, the yards, the facilities. Let's talk to them like the teams and what it's going to take for them to get into the Super Bowl, what they're going to have to do. Put something that highlights the top things, the top information in this report, but communicates to the top 10 facilities. But that's creative.
Yeah.
That's a creative idea with one of the most powerful systems the world has ever seen. But it's a creative spark that now writes a dumb, stupid email that tries to keep people just engaged and thoughtful about reading the actual report. That's all that was. But if you diminish that, to diminish that is self-refuting, because you're just diminishing every stupid email then.
That's a good point. Yeah. Dude, there's so much to go into there. Like,
I know it's wild. It is really wild.
My mind is spinning, man. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We could go on for an hour about all the different rabbit trails we could pull out of this. But I think from a super high level, it's so good to know kind of some of the trends and where this is all going. I appreciate you making a little time, Darren, and we'll talk to you later. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
See ya.